Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to ORL Online Racing League here with me, George Morgan, here, and I'm joined by my co-commentator and partner in crime here tonight, going by the name of none other less. He was here with us last week, Maku. Maku, how are you doing tonight, buddy?
Yeah, I'm doing great, and I'm really excited for the race today.
It's going to be splendid. We've got Bahrain tonight. Bahrain, round 2 of the ORL Racing League, and what an exciting round 1 we had indeed. It was filled with nothing but action, and I got to say, Speed Barry taking the win in unprecedented fashion, with Sven Zerner finishing P2 and also finishing P3, Jana Watmir. Lots going on in that race, Maku. I think you were there commentating on it. Perhaps you could shed some light on what happened last week.
Yeah, so we've had some technical problems, and therefore I couldn't follow the whole race. But at the beginning, Jarno was like at the top, and I think he had on points like 5 seconds was he in front of all the others. And I'm not really sure how it turned out that he got third in the end. But yeah, that's how it is. Even Sven could overtake him. And that's basically how the order,
Yes, apologies there, ladies and gentlemen. I think it was a bit delayed there on the desktop audio. It didn't seem to register you there for half the conversation, Maku. Do apologise there to everyone there, my fault. But yeah, no, like you say, very, very much action-packed at last week's race, and certainly throws a heavy impression in the driver's standings. In the meantime, we will head over to the circuit here of Bahrain. Very, very shortly. As you can see, quite a big grid as well. On this occasion, we have got plenty of very, very good competitive top drivers in this league, and we're going to be no less than excited to see what these guys can bring to the table today. Bahrain as an international circuit, very sandy circuit, Maku. Lots of prospects for spinning. You've got to be very, very cautious on this track.
Yeah, first 3 corners, especially the first one, of course, always very point where we have to be very careful. Then, of course, we have 3 DRS straights. One of the circuits has 3. And yeah, I think especially turn number 10, where the braking is really difficult because you need to brake under steering a little bit. Yeah, I think we will see some action there.
Well, drivers are now starting to exit their pit lanes. I'm just seeing right now some of the drivers leaving, including the likes of CRG Napadovsky. Obviously, I'm not familiar with a lot of these drivers who are in this league. This is my first race here in ORL, so very excited to see what these guys can do. And we've already got a string of cars exiting the pit lane, that being the Williams of CRG Napadovsky, including the Renault of VSR Infamous as well, just leaving the pit lane, and also his teammate VSR Jake as well, who is in that string of cars. Fabrizio Donoso Delgado also out on circuit, along with Zativ, I think that's pronounced, who's just behind him as well. So already these guys looking to field their initial laps here on this circuit. Like you say, some very winding corners here at Bahrain, and you've got to be careful. Certainly with this sandy track, the asphalt can be ever so slippery, and a lot of them, just to say, Maku, are braving it on the hard tyres, which is unreal.
Yeah, but that was the same last time. A lot of them started on the hard tyres their qualifying run, but most of them went to mediums then. Yeah, maybe they're just testing, or I don't know.
Could well be. I mean, you're leaving yourself scope for improvement, aren't you? I mean, certainly, I think fielding a lap on the harder tyres certainly gives you the best chance, because obviously you want to start on a fairly longer-lasting tyre compound in a race like Bahrain, I'd imagine, just to get the full potential out of your car. I mean, if you can nail a high-quality qualifying lap and therefore hold off your pit stops till as late as possible, it could mean that you're in for a very good chance towards the end of the race, as we watch Stativ now go round in the Ferrari, the prancing horse, again looking to come back after Stativ's first race ended in a P8, and that was at Spain, and he did extremely well to get that, and I'm sure looking for another top 10 finish here today, Maku.
Yeah, let's see what they're going to do in qualifying and in the race, of course.
Well, watching Stativ now making his way down the circuit. Just to follow up on the driver standings, as you can see, Speed Barry currently topping the charts for Red Bull Racing with 25 points. Sven Zerner in P2, obviously after his second place with 18 points. Jarno Opmeer in P3 for Mercedes on 15 points. Silver Arrow is still very much alive, even in online racing. VSR Infamous in the Renault with 12 points. Calcifer in the Alfa Romeo Racing P5. Those are your top 5. But like you say, still early days in the season. Plenty of room for chopping and changing in this league in the early stages.
Yeah, for example, who is now 16th drivers championship standings currently is Fodon, and he was, for example, the last season winner. Then another one of the podiums of last season is Navidovsky. He's now both of them are in the qualifying session right now too.
Well, immediately out of the blocks already, Sven Zerner nailing a 127.939. It'll be very interesting to see how that fares. And Fabrizio Donoso already sets a 127.841, very close to Sven Zerner's time. Already these guys setting some reasonably quick laps, even on the hard tyres around Bahrain. Remember, Bahrain, a very tricky surface to nail. Certainly given the sandy track, it can really throw you off, especially that tricky left-hander at the back of the circuit, which you've got to be really, really careful with, as it can throw you off. I believe that's turn 14. Am I wrong, Maku?
You mean the last corner? Not.
Oh, turn 10. Sorry, turn 10. Sorry.
Yeah, 10. Yeah. That's what I've mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
This corner is always. Even the best drivers have made mistakes there.
You certainly do. I mean, you've got to brake very, very gently, and I suppose ease it in with a couple of downshifts on going into the corner, because any wrong move and you can suffer oversteer or even understeer if you're not careful, and really get yourself thrown off track. And Speed Barry nails it again with a 127.727 on the hard tyres. Once again, at top of the shop here in this league. You've got to give credit where credit's due. He's a quick driver, Maku.
Yeah, of course. You see him finishing first last race, and now he's setting the current pole time. So yeah, but I think we'll see a lot more improvement on the softer tires. So yeah, let's see what the others can pull out.
Well, like you say, still early days at the moment. We're just coming into the point where we're at 12.5 minutes of qualifying, so still plenty of time left. We're just going to scroll down because we've got a couple of drivers now on their fast laps, the likes of Oz Julian, who we're now riding on board with now. He's just making his way through the snake section. Now this bit, you've got to be very careful on the power. Don't really want to be nailing too much of the curb, as you can easily spin off, and you're very susceptible, certainly, as you can just see there, losing a bit of shape then, Oz Julian, as he powers his way down the straight. He'll soon be on the final corner of the circuit. What's he going to nail this time on the hard tyres as he rounds the final corner? He's currently on a 124 as he comes into the straight. What's it going to be when he crosses the line? What's the McLaren going to poach today? It's P11, a 128.722. Reasonable lap time there, Maku. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think a pretty good lap time. So yeah, I think all those drivers can fight against each other. We had last season like 10 people in between of 1 second in the qualifying, so, or even more. That was just insane. So all these drivers are racing on that high level, and seeing them racing is, that's really insane.
Well, we're now on board with Jarno Opmeer, who's in the Silver Arrows of the Mercedes, and he's currently on his out lap. He'll soon be preparing for his fast lap. We'll ride on board with him for a brief period just to see what he gets out of the hard tyres. According to the telemetry, obviously, which I think isn't quite right. It's showing him on the soft, so don't pay much attention to that, folks at home, as it won't give you the correct guide as he makes his way around, I believe, the final bend, heading towards the home stretch now. So right on board now with Jarno Opmeer. The Silver Arrow's powering down the straight now. What's he going to get as he comes through to the home straight? Is it going to be nice and easy on the brakes? You want to try and round the first corner as sensibly as possible. Try not to catch too much of the bump of the curb, and he avoids it at all costs. Very well done indeed. Comes across the turn and cuts right across it. Carries a lot of the curb there. Opens up the DRS at the DRS section there and heads down towards the next right-hander. Got to be very careful. Swallows a lot of curb there on the left-hand side. You can afford to do that in this game, which allows you to get a better entry onto that bend as he makes his way through the winding, almost semi-chicanes of this track here at Bahrain as he makes his way down the right-hander. He's already got purple in Sector 1, Maku. This guy has got pace as he makes his way down towards that tricky left-hander at Turn 10, the one that we're always saying watch out for. Very, very cautious on the brakes and very quick on the power. That's very smooth. And he's looking strong as he makes his way down what I suppose we could call the back straight, and makes his way through the next winding section. You want to be very careful as we see Photon is back on another outlap as well. It'll be interesting to see what he can get as we follow Jarno as he makes his way around the next couple of right-handers. He's purple in Sector 2, Maku, and that certainly bodes well for his lap time as he makes his way down the next straight, which will lead him towards the final corner. What's it going to be for the Silver Arrows as he makes his way down, just brakes just after the 100, and he swallows a bit of the curve, gets a lovely exit there, straight on the power, and goes straight heading down towards the DRS zone, opens it up. What's it going to be? When he crosses the line, it's P4. Maybe a mistake there in Sector 3 cost him there, but it means that the two Mercedes drivers are P3 and 4, Maku.
Yes, they are nearly perfect lineup for them. Maybe that's also something they can include in their strategy.
It certainly could be. I mean, they can work off each other. Two very experienced, and I will say, professional esports drivers. So very familiar with a couple of competitors in this league, and surely they have the experience that can carry them through in this league as well. So Mercedes looking very strong at the moment here at Bahrain. But top in the shop at the moment is speed barriers. We watch Sven Zerner now make his way towards the next straight. He'll soon be met with the final corner, and let's see what sort of lap time he can post as he makes his way around very, very smoothly in the McLaren, makes his way past the DRS zone, and he'll come up towards the line, and it's a 6th place, 127.939. McLaren in the top 6, Maku.
Maybe something that you can see in real life now too.
Well, maybe. They're certainly good enough, and we've got to say, since Carlos Sainz and Lando Norris have joined the team and sort of started their bromance, as people are calling it, you could well be seeing a bit of a shift at the McLaren constructor. So I really hope we do. They've got a lot of history, and I think they deserve it. And I hope that they can garner it. Obviously, no hard feelings with that at Mercedes. I mean, once upon a time they were part of the same team. As we seem to have encountered a bit of a freeze here, but no, it's okay. Photon is powering down the straight. What's he going to get as he crosses the line with a 128.073? P10 for Photon. Perhaps not seeing the best of him at the moment, Maku?
Yeah, could be. He's performing much better than this. I mean, some of the drivers weren't there, but for example, you see Napodowski in second. He was third last time. In last season, so I think theoretically Photon should have the pace to get to those people.
Yeah, well, he's in. I mean, to be fair to him, I mean we've heard a lot about him. I mean, I know him from AOR. He's a very, very strong driver. I've watched him a few times, and I know he's capable of a lot more. And I think we're still yet to see it. I mean, like we say, we've still got just under 7 minutes of qualifying left. There's still plenty of time for him to crack open another lap. So I'm sure we'll see that of him. But just to say, CRG Napodowski in the Williams team, we just missed this, Maku, but he's gone P2 with a 127.607. Good lap from him.
Yeah, and as I said before, or as I mentioned, we have now the first 9 drivers are in between half a second. They're all in a higher 127. So yeah, all this. The drivers seem very good match, very equal.
Absolutely.
Let's see how it turns out as they change their tire.
Well, just looking now, Jarno Opmeer in the Mercedes has now gone pole. I'm just seeing Kruzic now making his way down towards the straight. What's he going to get? It's P11 for Kruzic. The Racing Point gets a 128.069 just outside the top 10. Very unfortunate there for Kruzic. But then again, not a bad time. He's still in amongst it, and I commentated on him in AOR last season, and I've got to say, him and Kamil Komon gave us some really impressive battles, especially at the USA. We saw them do battle there. Despite the championship being near enough wrapped up, they always threw everything out on the track, and I got to say some of the battles were really intense, but nonetheless very, very good. So P11 there for Krusic. I'm sure we'll see more of him. But as we look further down, Boomsun currently out and about now in the Toro Rosso, making his way around turn 10, the very tricky left-hand bend. We see the Toro Rosso overhead, making his way down the back straight, and very soon he'll be met with the weaving bends in the final sector 3. What are your thoughts on Boomsun, Maku? Any initial thoughts?
No, not really. I think he's also a new driver, so as long as I remember, he wasn't there last season. So yeah, I've just seen him basically first time in the last race, where he went 13th. So I think he's one of the drivers racing in the midfield.
Well, at the moment, well, you say midfield. He's now P3, though on the mediums with a 127.549. That's not a bad time. He's up there in amongst it with the top 3 places. Those medium tyres serving him well and moving him right up the classification. I mean, obviously, everyone else has pitched their laps on the hard tyres, but could be a question of strategy, Maku.
Could be. Could always be. But we don't know.
We don't. It's not until the race starts and everyone moves their chips to the centre of the table that we'll find out who takes the top spot here at Bahrain. We're down to 4 minutes left, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're all doing well and enjoying yourselves in the chat. Paris Burrell, I love this commentator, man. I'm not sure whether you're talking about me or Maku there, but thank you very much, my friend. The Shiny Apple, get well soon, Shumi. Leonard, I'm a Boomsun K fan, says Jens. Well, Boomsun K currently in P4, so he's doing well for you at the moment. Lucas, I'm a fan. TRL is shouting it out for Yano Op, so props to TRL Limitless on that. How to race here, it says Lucas Souza. Lucas, if you get in touch with the league representatives, I'm sure they'll be able to help you. I've just been enlightened by Paris Burrell that Stiv is actually Steve. So that's interesting. MLD Sunlight 70, Yano Opmir in the Mercedes. I know, it's weird. It's Cohen, says Speedfire on fire. I think he is on fire. Speed Barry's currently in P3. But yeah, no, very busy chat window, guys. I've just seen a smiley face from Limitless. Yeah, good to see you, man. Thanks for joining the chat. I'm surprised you're not racing in this league, actually. Come on, throw your chips in the table as well. Let's see a bit of that. But as we're watching just watching qualifying session wrap up now, we're coming into the last two and a half minutes. VSR Jake now in P1, Maku, with a 127.410.
Yeah, and then and Jarno were leading the table also for a few seconds. We, as Boomsun got second, I think, we didn't even notice that Jarno was in first. So yeah, a lot of new times, and as you see, a lot of drivers out, or not a lot, but some drivers out on the mediums, trying to get a faster time on those tires.
Well, I got to say, this is when, like it says, Kamil Komon sets the fastest lap, but we are seeing the mediums come out into play. I think people obviously looking to see where the hards are forming up on the grid, and Kamil Komon now leads the way in this qualifying session with a 126.961, the only driver in this field to nail the 126s here in this qualifying session. So a great lap from him to nail that and stick himself on pole position. I'm sure, though, many of these drivers are going to be looking to get better times in him, as we now see Jarno Opmir making his way out on his next fast lap as he makes his way through the first corner into the second, round the third, and he'll be opening up the DRS now, Maku. Are we going to be seeing... we are seeing changes. SHZ Hayes goes into the 126s as well with a 126.852. He takes P1. Red Bull giving him wings. They're in P1, Maku.
Yeah, I think we'll see a lot of changes to the top, but also to all the rest of the table now, because all the drivers are now putting the rest of their car out on the track, trying again another fast lap with even less fuel and fresh tires. So yeah,
Yeah, well, it's starting to throw caution to the wind now. It's time, because it's squeaky bum time, ladies and gentlemen, here in this qualifying session as we see Jarno Opmeer make his way around the final part of Sector 2. He'll soon be in Sector 3 and onto the final few corners of this lap. Are we going to be seeing a change at the top here, because he's on the medium tyres, and I bet you he is gagging for that P1 spot as he makes his way down now. Sector 3 is now officially lit up as he makes his way down towards the final bend, just breaks after the 100, and he'll just brush the curve there on the inset, makes his way down the straight. What's it going to be for the Silver Arrows? He opens up the DRS, he can see the main grandstand, and he goes P1 with a 126.535, Maku.
Oh my gosh. So we're going down one further into the 126s. Let's see what the drivers can pull out. Who's also on the mediums? Jarno.
Yeah, well, Jarno's opted for the mediums. I think he's looking for that pole spot. I mean, where the drivers are sitting at the moment, Speed Barry going into P2 as well on the medium tyres. As you can see, a question of strategy indeed. You don't want to be too far back, certainly in this race, because anything can change through the corners of Bahrain. As Sven Zerner goes into P3 as well with a 126.3, and I'm sure he'll be happy with that. McLaren back in the top 3 once again, Maku. Not anymore, though.
Yeah. Already changed, yeah. Oh, Mercedes in 1 and 2 now.
Oh, we got Fabrizio Donoso has also popped himself on P2. So we've got Jarno Opmeer P1, Fabrizio Donoso P2. Once again, even in ORL, it's a Mercedes weekend. Unbelievable scenes. Phenomenal stuff. Speed Barry, though, the last week's race winner, currently in P3. And it's a question of who's gonna move first, because we've got Camille Common, who's just come in the pits. But looking further down, we've got a few drivers that are still out on track. Brownie and Kruzic are still going. We'll follow Kruzic as he makes his way down towards the final bend. What's it going to be here for the Pink Panther as he makes his way down towards the straight? The DRS detection zone bears in front of him, opens up the DRS, comes across the line, P10 for the Pink Panther, and that'll see his qualifying session finish. Though he's in the top 10, Maku, very much an improvement off his last stint.
He's now the last one who isn't allowed to change his tires for the race, so... yeah, let's see. Well, I think everyone else is ready. Speedberry has aborted his lap, I think, so we're done with the qualifying.
Yeah, I think that's it. And what a qualifying session it's been. It's been full of twists and turns as we see Jarno Opmeer take pole position here at Bahrain. Fabrizio Donoso Delgado in P2, completing a 1-2 for the Silver Arrows Mercedes team. P3 for Red Bull, and Speed Barry looking to get yet another win this season. CRG Napadovsky in P4, Sven Zerner in P5 for McLaren, to SHZ Hayes in P6 for the other Red Bull team. And we'll give you the full classifications now shortly as we have now completed this qualifying session. 15th for Photon though, Maku, not his ideal qualifying session.
No, not really. We were expecting better from our expecting, but yeah.
Well, P1 goes to Jarno Opmeer for Mercedes, Fabrizio Donoso in P2, Speed Barry there in P3, CRG Napadovsky in P4, Sven Zerner P5, SHZ Hayes in P6, P7 goes to Kamil Komon, Arzen Karanov in Alfa Romeo, VSR in Famous Air in P9, Kruzic in P10, SHZ Zawans in P11, Calcifer in P12, Leonard in P13, Steve in P14, Photon P15, VSR Jake P16. Unfortunately, we could not get the others, but I believe there was a Haas at the back of the grid, which I believe was Verstappen, or it was either him or his, I think the person that was subbing in for him in this race this evening. But guys, in the chat box, please offer your support to the drivers on the circuit. I want to see who you think's going to win this Bahrain Grand Prix. And I'll quickly read out some of these comments. Just having a look further down now. Jen's asking, is this Minecraft? No, this is not Minecraft, I can assure you. Not quite Minecraft anyway. Just looking further down. My boy Hayes. Hayes had a good qualifying session as well. Boomsun K's going to win. We've had a tip for Boom K son off Lucas. Looking down here, we've got TRL Limitless. Bahrain is my worst non-street track. Bahrain, I think, is a bit of a questionable track for many, I think, Limitless on that one. So I can understand that comment, certainly. It's certainly not my favourite. We look further down. That's why it was P4 Limitless. Lucas on the scoreboard. Is Cohen Jarno. Jarno the GOAT, according to its Coners. We're now starting the formation lap here at Bahrain, ladies and gentlemen. We've got 40 viewers in this chat tonight. So thank you for joining us, folks. Apparently I can say Shazoo for HEZ and Ozone for OZ. So apparently I've got to say Shazoon and Ozo for the clan tags by all accounts. So you learn something new every day, Maku. Maku, are you there?
Yeah,
oh,
sorry.
There you are. Sorry, lost you there for a minute. Yeah, what are your thoughts going into this race, Maku? Any tips you have for the race we got ahead of us?
Yeah, so pretty interesting. I think Jarno and Fabrizio will be able to keep the top spots because Jarno did the last race near the hole. I think he had kind of an incident or something, so he went a little back. But Speedberry will also be competition for those two, and Napadovsky and Spencer Renner are also people who can drive up to the top to the places. So yeah, we'll see there a lot, and I think in the midfield we'll see also a lot of movement. With always there like a lot of drivers who are all really close, like 5 or 6 people who are always a little bit racing. So yeah, should be an interesting race.
Certainly will be, but just looking down the grid, obviously we missed a couple of names towards the end there. We got to, I think, around about where Photon was. VSR Jake, of course, in P16. Boomsun ended up in P17 after what looked to be an impressive qualifying session. He's dropped down to P17. Oz Julian, or as someone in the chat quite rightly pronounced, was Ozone. So I've got to say Ozone Julian, is it? In P18. Bernardo in P19, and we got Brownie in P20. So that's your driver lineup here for this race. Mercedes, with all the cards in their hand right now, in Ps 1 and 2. It'd be interesting to see what sort of start we're going to get off the grid as we see Fabrizio Donoso and Jarno Otmir line up. We've got Speed Barry and CRG Napadovsky in behind them. What's it going to be at the start of this race, guys, as the cars are about to line up? Keep it with us here at ORL. Things are about to get real here at Bahrain. And stay with us here for the start of this Bahrain Grand Prix. And the cars are revving their engines. That's 5 lights. And it's pedal to the metal. Go, 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 go. And Jarno Otmir gets away well, but so does Fabrizio Donoso. These two go in reasonably clear, but Donoso goes back inside to try and cover the Red Bull of Speed Barry. Sven Zerner moving up to P3 from P5. Tremendous start there for the McLaren driver as they burst their way down towards them straight after the first couple of bends. And these drivers really weaving all over the place. You can see the two Mercedes doing battle already earlier on, and Jarno Otmir has conceded by the looks of it as they go wheel to wheel here. That first place position has now gone to Fabrizio Donoso, who leads the way for the Silver Arrows. Jarno's having none of it as they make their way towards the next bend. Maku, absolutely phenomenal scenes here.
They're now racing tire to tire, and it's Jarno in the front again. We had 2 switches until now already. We're like a half a lap done. I think Sven came up to first. Speedberry lost 1 place, but they were all battling at the beginning.
Well, just looking through the grid, Kamil Koman making some places as well. He's been doing battle with CRG Napadovsky, who got a bit of a messy start. He's dropped down to P6. Not his ideal start to this Bahrain Grand Prix, but nonetheless, Speed Barry still very much there, and he is in behind Sven Zerner, who has moved up to P3. A really tremendous start there from Sven Zerner in the McLaren team there. He's now tracking the likes of Fabrizio Donoso and Jarno Otmir. Both these drivers now giving us a bit of a show between these two. Hopefully we don't see any teammate disasters here. Not like hopefully no Prost and Senna moments here, guys. I'm hoping these guys will keep them on the track as Jarno Otmir makes his way down past the first corner. A little bit of oversteer there, a little bit of shape lost as he makes his way through the initial couple of corners. And that Mercedes driver really flying close to the wind here as we see Fabrizio Donoso weaving in and out, looking to get a bit of an advantage over his compatriot in the Silver Arrows. Maku, they're giving us a show already.
Yeah, they're all fighting. It's pretty interesting. Nearly every corner we have some overtakes. There's Calcifer and Hayes are fighting currently through the S's kind of. And oh, is Calcifer a little lagging?
Well, just looking now, Hayes is currently in P11. Behind him, Kruzich moving up as Boomson, and Kruzich doing battle as they make their way down to the tricky left-hander. And already, Kruzich, I think he might have lost the pace to Calcifer there. VSR Jake moves at the P15. Carnage going down to that corner, but naturally not the easiest corner to negotiate, as we said in qualifying, and certainly a dangerous place to overtake. So you've got to take extreme caution, like we say, going through this circuit of Bahrain, as a lot of these corners can throw you off, and certainly the curves. If you get one wrong move on any of those curves, it could be game over, Maku.
Yeah, especially in corner 12. If you'll just touch the curves slightly there, it's possible that you completely spin off the track.
Certainly can. As Speed Barry now starts eyeing up Sven Zerner as Jarno Opmeer sets the fastest lap of the race so far with a 1:31. Fabrizio Donoso not letting his teammate go. These two are leading the way here in this Bahrain Grand Prix. Sven Zerner half a second behind them, which is slowly increasing out to 0.6 seconds. Boomson has now overtaken Kruzich in the first bend, and you can see that Kruzich is not letting this stand. As we see further up, Calcifer is seeing Hayes do battle with that of without a Photon. Sorry guys, as Photon moves at the P10. Great overtake from him, Maku.
Yeah, and as well as he does, I think Boomsong was it, who overtook Calcifer. And yeah, as DRS is now enabled, nearly everyone gets DRS on all the three straights. And we'll see even more overtakes, if this is even possible.
Well, we got plenty of this race left to go. We're only in lap 3 of 29. The DRS has come into play, no doubt. Bernardo has just overtaken Oz Julian as well. So P16 for the Williams driver. I'm sure he's very happy with that. With that DRS open, he can now try and chase down Kruzich to try and get himself a nice P15 spot. It'd be interesting to see where this race goes, because obviously it tests the driver's capabilities of keeping a car on the track and also an ability to make overtakes. As we see Hayes and Photon doing battle once again. That Ferrari driver not content with P11 at all, Maku, as they make their way down towards the final corner. And Hayes is being forced to really defend hard as they make their way down towards the home stretch. It's Fabrizio Donoso and Camille Common, taking his fastest lap of a 1:30.879, and Speed Barry has made a move on Sven Zerner, but Sven managing to keep the car under control and maintains P3. We have got some real dogged battles on the cards here, Maku.
Yeah, and Hayes and Foden now battling still. Now Hayes even got DRS, even though he was in front of Foden. Yeah, but those two were battling. Foden nearly got it on the first straight, but then Hayes took the inside and Foden couldn't get him around the outside.
Well, Sven Zerner still tracking Jarno Opmeer. These three drivers at the start, very, very quick, setting some really, really good laps here in qualifying, and they're not leaving anything to chance, with Fabrizio Donoso now taking P1 here in this race. Obviously managed to find a way around Jarno Opmeer afterwards. Jarno only 7/10 behind him, and I'm sure these two are not done yet, Maku.
Of course not.
Well, they're making their way around the final sector now, and very soon they'll be commencing lap 5 of 29. And it'll be interesting to see how long these medium tyres last and when these guys will facilitate the pit stop. Obviously a one-stop strategy around Bahrain, given its 29 laps. You'd imagine that the hards would probably be the next tyre that they make use of if they're going to make a change sooner rather than later, because I can't imagine they'll be able to do 10, 12 plus laps on soft tyres.
No, you just could maybe try a medium soft for those who have mediums, but I think everything else seems not really faster than they're now. But as always, if you go for a two-step, you have to be sure that you can make time on the track and that you're good at overtaking.
Definitely, because you've got to facilitate the use of those fast tyres to try and move yourself up a few grid positions. Again, like we said before, it's a question of strategy. I can't see anyone going for the two-stopper in this event. I think that people will favour, certainly the drivers out there, will favour the one-stop strategy, try and keep the car on the track for as long as possible to eat away at these 29 laps as they make their way down past turn 10 now. The stream of drivers we've got here, we've got a proper DRS train here, Maku, and lots of these guys still very much in touch with P1, with the gap leading from from P1 to where we are in P6, probably around about 4 or 5 seconds separate the bunch at most.
Yeah, that's about it. And it's basically going from first place to 9, and then there's a cut of 3 seconds, and then we're basically nearly all of the rest is directly behind the 10. Right behind Hayes.
Yeah, so quite a contingent of cars ahead of us as Donoso sets yet another fastest lap of 1:30.689, proving that these mediums are still carrying sufficient tyre wear. Depending on how these drivers line up, we could be seeing the top 3 or top 4 or top 5 move away from the pack. So we could see a divide in these drivers as we go through this race.
Yeah, but then the important thing will be strategies and stops, because if everyone is nearly at the same position on track, drivers will need to go like at the same time to the pits, or a lap later or earlier. But then I hope the teammates are like in a chat or something, so they can talk to each other when to stop.
Certainly, it'd be the correct manoeuvre to certainly try and set yourself up with a chat party, because obviously teammates are everything in Formula 1 racing, and certainly they're going to want to try and strategise themselves to get maximum points for the constructors' standings. For you guys at home that aren't aware of what the constructors' standings look like after round 1, we do in fact have some of the standings there for you. As you can see, Red Bull Racing currently sitting on 33 points, leading the constructors' standings. McLaren in P2, back to former glories, on 19 points. Mercedes, who are currently leading this race, Ps 1 and 2, currently sitting on 15 points. And Renault just behind them, with Alfa Romeo, Ferrari in P6, not ideal for them. Haas in P7, Racing Point P8, Toro Rosso P9, and Williams P10. Well, they say people say there's irregularities when it comes to the game version. But it's not proving to be the case today, is it, Marku?
Yeah, it's not really, so yeah.
We're seeing currently Mercedes leading the way, and Williams at the bottom of the championship, so it's certainly reigning true to real F1 at the moment off last year's performance. But CRG Napadovsky could turn all that around, because he's currently in P5 for the Williams team, just looking up there, and he's only 6/10 or just over 6/10 from Speed Barry, so a good performance so far from Williams in this race.
Yeah, and also the mentioned trains of cars are kind of interesting, because in most of the other circuits, as drivers get close to another, like in this 1 second window of the DRS, normally they start to battle, and they are like, the overtake comes after a few laps. But now nearly everyone is in this 1 second window, but though all these drivers are just driving straight behind each other, I think because they're all having nearly the same pace, and they're just really good at each other, and they now just have to wait for someone to make a mistake so they can overtake them.
You certainly do. Well, they're coming down the straight again, and they'll soon be commencing lap 8 of 29. Still a fair way to go yet, ladies and gentlemen. We're now seeing Fabrizio Donoso creep ahead of Jarno Otmir by just over 7/10 of a second. Sven Zerner in behind them with a similar time frame. With Speed Barry only 4/10 behind Sven Zerner, so we've still got a very condensed gap between the top 5 cars. But if you look at it, if you look at the intervals, the top 9 drivers, as we see, Arsen Karnadov now overtaking Kamil Koman there to get P8. A great overtake from him, but Kamil Koman, if I know him well, he's not going to let that position go down lightly as they make their way through the S snake section of the circuit. They'll soon be faced with yet another 90-degree right-hander. As we just see Kamil Koman then do a bit of a slide. Those tyres really starting to... this is when we might see the degradation step in here, Maku, because these drivers have been bossing it around this circuit, and obviously with the pace that these guys are going, degradation can be high.
Yeah, that of course, because they're like all really pushing, and so yeah, what do you think when they're going to pit? Are like around lap 12 latest or something like that?
Well, they could be. I would say lap 12 is probably a hot point. You could probably say they could. I'd say the window is probably between lap 12 and 15. But like I said, it depends on how hard these guys have been pushing, because naturally, to stay within the time gaps they have done, the drivers are feeling a lot of pressure to try and maintain their gaps between each of the drivers, because they don't want to lose any places, and if they can gain them, they'll gain them. And it doesn't matter how hard they push the car, they want to make that crucial overtake as they make their way down the straight once again to commence lap 9. But I'm sure very soon we'll start to see some of these guys get the fresher boots on, and we'll soon see how strategy unfolds through the course of this Grand Prix. We've only got 20 laps remaining now, guys. Remember how quick that time has gone from lap 1 to 9 laps. Absolutely phenomenal. We've had so much action, Maku. It's been crazy.
Yeah, I think for races like this, I've not really seen that lot action. I mean, we had interesting races, of course, but that lot action in the first few laps.
It's been phenomenal. I mean, I've got to say we've been very lucky to receive some of the incredible action we've had already. With obviously the likes of Fabrizio De Noso, Jarno Opnier, Sven Söder, Speed Barry, and Napodowski giving us a bit of a, certainly giving us something to watch here live at ORL here on YouTube. Incidentally, guys, if you haven't done so already, in the comments, if you could like and subscribe to ORL, and you can stay tuned in to the coverage we have here on the channel, obviously with myself and Maku, my co-commentator, and hopefully we can bring you more of this action throughout the racing season. And we're going to be in for a corker of a season, the way things are mapped out to be, with some of these great drivers making a name for themselves here in this league as we watch them commence lap 10. It's amazing how quick these guys are eating through these laps, as with now 90 laps left to go. These tyres certainly look like on some of these drivers, Maku, that they're starting to wear off.
Yeah. Some of them are already going wide, and lockups are made even more often. So let's see what the drivers do.
Well, I'm seeing a lot of wheel play there from Sven Zerner, who's currently struggling, I think, to keep these tyres on good form here on the track. Maybe in the next couple of laps we will see them start pitting around lap 12. I think you might be spot on with that assessment there, Maku. So it'll be interesting to see what boots they put on. Will they opt for the one-stop strategy, which I'd imagine they will, and stick the hard tyres on, or will they go for that soft medium manoeuvre as well? As Steve sets the fastest lap with a 1:30.462, and Steve at the moment is in P20. I believe he's only just pitted. He's the first driver to pit in for new tyres. Whether that was damage related, I'm not sure, because he's on 2 lap old mediums.
Yeah, I think it was, or he tried to do something else, because he's pretty far at the back, and yeah.
Yeah, he certainly must be struggling, I think, after maybe sustaining wing damage earlier on. I know there was a lot of hotly contested battles in the midfield. As we look further down, you'd be amazed to see the gaps between each of these drivers. We're riding on board with Boomson there, who's currently just stuck behind Calcifer, and we've got a train of cars there as he makes a little dash down the inside of Calcifer, but nothing happening there as they make their way down the straight, and Hayes is going into the pits. We're already seeing a train of cars go into the pits to make tyre changes. You can see the mass change up here in the classifications as we look down. Davidovsky's got in for a change, and they're all opting for that one-stop strategy, Maku.
Yeah, of course they are. I mean, lots of the front drivers won't risk to try a two-step strategy, so yeah. Well, we have now 5 or 6 drivers out on the hards, and yeah, let's see when the others pit, and especially let's see when the people who are out on the hards pit. And maybe if the people who are out on hards right now can get their hards to last that long, that they can take the soft. So they have maybe an advantage.
Yeah, so it could be it's 2 ways, I suppose, of looking at the one-stop strategy as we follow Boomsen now in P7. Just looking further up, obviously the gap now is even more clear now that those pit stops have been made. Spencer with a gap of nearly 3 seconds to CHD1s. So these drivers really starting to move on now, Maku. No doubt we're going to be seeing those top 3 burst into the pit lane very soon.
Yeah, of course. I mean, next up would be lap 12, which we said. Oh, yeah, and Fabrizio De Noso is in pits right now.
Yeah, well, obviously Jarno's not going to be able to come in, because otherwise that would mean the Mercedes will end up stacking. So he'll probably come in lap 13, no doubt. Or here in lap 12, sorry, into lap 13. as we now see Fabrizio Donoso come out on the hard tyres. So he does indeed go for that one-stop strategy. And no doubt, let's see where he comes out. It looks like he's going to come out in P8. Sven Zerner following behind him. Speed Barry also coming out. So the stop system seems to have worked, though Sven Zerner has lost a place to Speed Barry.
Oh yes, was Sven in front of... Yes, right, he overtook him right at the beginning, right?
He did, yes. Sven managed to get P3 prior to the pit stop. But obviously, Speed Barry managing to get the undercut and moves into P9 ahead of Sven Zerner. So a phenomenal move from him. The Red Bull driver now in a prime position or a potential podium place should this race map out the way it does for him. So it'd be interesting to see, can he keep that pace through the rest of the race?
Should be interesting, but I think he can because he proved it last time. So let's see.
Well, he's got
the other thing is the question if that Jarno is pitting now is an advantage or a disadvantage for him, because either he was faster on his completely free lap where nobody was kind of close to him, or not. So yeah, let's see where he comes out.
Well, he's bursting into the pits now. He's currently on those 12-lap old mediums. He's just about to get them changed. Where will he come out? Obviously, Soji Wons has come in as well. The Wons has moved into the pits. He's going to move on to the hards as well. Just looking further down, Photon has moved up. So as you can see, all the guys that started on the hard tyres are now taking over the P1, 2s and 3s positions, and P's 4s as well with Leonard. As we see Jarno Opmeer come out the pits, and it looks like he has lost positions. He's ended up technically in net P4, Maku.
Yeah, he lost a lot of time there.
I think obviously those mediums, perhaps the crucial lap, that final lap before he came to the pits, maybe they were struggling for grip, maybe in that final lap, and that conceded him a lot of time.
Yeah, that's possible.
Yeah,
but though he now has the hards which are like a lap younger than the ones of the guys the hearts of the guys in front of him, so maybe he has a little advantage in the end.
He could well do. It depends on who can last the longest, though. You'd imagine, though, these hard tyres should be able to take a battering, even at a circuit like Bahrain, as they burst round the back straight, heading down towards the winding section leading into Sector 3. I'm sure Jarno Opmeer isn't going to want to stay in P8 much longer. He is only 6/10 behind Sven Zerner, so we're going to be seeing lots of battles here towards the latter stages of this race. We're going to be in for a real treat, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're all enjoying it in the chat. We got 47 viewers, Maku. This is unbelievable scenes. So welcome to the stream, everybody. It's an honour to have you here, and I hope you're enjoying the racing that's unfolding ahead of us here. As Fabrizio Donoso is in net P1 as it stands. He's only 1.5 seconds behind Leonard, who's still yet to pit. And I'm sure very, very soon that when they dive into the pit lanes later on, we're going to be seeing a real shake-up in the classifications as Camille Common manages to overtake Brownie, who is now dived into the pit lane to get his 13-lap-old hard change. Maybe a wing change, and it certainly is a wing change. So there was obviously some damage that caused that pit stop to be made. I didn't see any action on track that caused that, Maku. I'm not sure whether you had any eyes on anything at all.
No, me neither. But he's quite interesting. He's going for mediums. I don't know if he tries to pull them out till the end, because that would be like 15, 16 laps, and that's a lot for mediums.
Well, it's a very brave move. I mean, certainly given that, like you say, we've got lots of time still left in this race. And we've seen typically at the start of this race that the mediums have only really lasted about 12 laps. So the forecast for him at the moment, as far as I can see, is that he probably will only be able to carry those mediums on the track till around about lap 26. In which case he might need to change onto a soft tyre or something for the rest of the race, which is a real shame. And no doubt that's going to scupper his race going forward, which is a real shame for Brownie. But as we look towards the front of the circuit, Calcifer is now leading the way, Photon in P2. These guys still yet to pit, and they're only separated really by approximately 6 seconds to that of Leonard, who's only half a second behind Fabrizio Donoso, who's now beginning to gang up on the unsuspecting Leonard, and we've got a VSC.
Yeah, because Hayes went off the track. I think it is corner 12, which we talked about previously.
You certainly did. It's where you brush the curve, isn't it? If you brush the curve a bit too hard, it can really cost you because you can run off the track and spin off. You've got to be really careful and really ideally take your foot off the power if you do end up rushing it. And indeed, Hayes has left the session, so we're going to be in for a VSC, at least initially here in lap 15. Not ideal for a lot of these drivers, as I'm sure the likes of Fabrizio Donoso would have wanted this race just to crack on, certainly on hard tyres. There's no real need for the safety car to really interfere to try and lengthen out these hard tyres at all, because they should be able to last the entire race. And I bet you he's just going to be hoping that this VSC can just be get over and done with. And I believe it has indeed now back underway. We're now back at the racing speed, and Leonard now, it looks like Fabrizio Donoso is going to overtake him to get P4, and he does so, makes his way through the winding section, and the Silver Arrows now makes his way through the field up into P4, and all he's got ahead of him is Calcifer, Photon and Bernardo, who are also still yet to pit.
So I think Leonard will now be overtaken by nearly every one of those front row drivers.
Well, Speed Barry's just had him now as they make their way down towards the final bend before the home stretch, and I think Sven Zerner might get his chance now as he crosses the line, and Leonard dives into the pit. So Leonard and Photon as well. That's a strange time. So obviously, and these guys struggling on the. Even on around 15 laps, and Sven Zerner dives down the inside of Speed Barry, looking for maybe an opportunity to make an overtake there, but maybe a bit too late. As he opens up the DRS, Speed Barry now in net P2. Maku, he's moved up impressively in this race, and he's showing a great turn of speed.
Yeah, of course, but we have to see. I think he can keep this position, but Jarno will, and Sven too, they will want these places too, so they are going to try to overtake him. Let's see how good his defending is then.
Well, Jarno Watmir nearly having an opportunity to overtake Sven Zerner there, because Sven Zerner losing a lot of shape on his tyres, and Jarno Watmir is literally in touching distance of that McLaren as they make their way through the back straight now, heading up towards the snake section here in lap 16, and the Dutchman very much looking to get that P5, nail that P5 off Sven Zerner in the McLaren as they make their way round now, and I'm sure we're going to see them do battle on the home stretch here leading into lap 17 as they make their way down towards the final straight before the final corner, and the Silver Arrows weighing up that McLaren for a potential overtake, I think, Maku.
Yeah, let's see. Maybe he can, maybe he cannot. Let's see how Sven defends. Oh, and Calcifer's went for the pits.
Well, immediately Sven's got into defensive positioning, and Jarno's making a move on the inside. What's he going to get here as they make their way down? The Silver Arrows going on the outside of Sven Zerner. Sven Zerner defending like he's trying to fight him off, like the battles between William Wallace and England as they make their way down, and he's done it. He's managed to back off Jarno Watmir. No overtake this time, and the Silver Arrows, better luck next time, my friend. Not on this occasion, sorry. Absolutely amazing scenes. That's exactly the sort of battling we came here to see in ORL as they make their way down. Jarno Watmir in P5 looking to overtake Sven Zerner in the McLaren. We're seeing the once together McLaren Mercedes now doing battle on the circuits of Bahrain as they make their way down towards turn 10. That really tricky turn 10 corner as they make their way down the back straight. As you can see, Sven Zerner just ahead in P4. And I'm sure Jarno Watmir is going to be looking to make a move on this McLaren driver very soon as they make their way through the winding stake sections leading into Sector 3. We are in lap 17 of 29. Maku, what's your projections at the end of the race? Is it going to be Mercedes Day, or are we going to be seeing Red Bull and Speed Barry taking the P1 once again this week?
Oh, it is quite it's quite a thing, you know. But I think Fabrizio should be able to keep this first, so Mercedes gets at least one podium, maybe even a second one. But I think Speedberry is also able to keep it. I don't know if he can pull out the win today, but maybe with some luck or something, there's always a possibility.
Well, we just saw another overtake there. SHZ1 has managed to overtake VSR and Famous to take P6, so the Haas driver moves up into P6. and further into the points here, and I'm sure he'll be pleased with that. VSR Famous still tracking him on the 2-lap older hard tyres as they make their way through the almost chicaning bends here in Sector 1 as they make their way down towards the next right-hander. The Haas driver moving away from VSR Famous, maybe finding that little bit of extra grip in the tyres. We see a yellow flag in Sector 1, and it looks like SHZ1's his teammate HAZ Brownie in P19, unfortunately spinning off at the first corner there, maybe losing a little bit of traction due to the curbs, as we've seen before, very easily to get oversteer in that bend there, Maku.
Yeah, of course, those first corners are always a little bit tight and a little bit interesting for every race to get the traction out there right. Even though his tires are not that old, so it shouldn't be that complicated, but yeah, later on in the race it will be interesting again.
Well, we're seeing now in lap 18, they're heading into lap 19 now, and Sven Zerner once again falling prey here to potentially Jarno Opmeer because he's opened up the DRS, he's in the slipstream, and Jarno Opmeer sets a lap record here in this race so far of a 129.8, and these guys really starting to get their laps into the 129. Just shows that this track has managed to warm up significantly and is allowing these cars to grip to it like glue, really, and they're starting to drive like a fish through water. It makes phenomenal viewing here, folks. They make their way down towards the next snaking bench as Boomson manages to overtake Bernardo to retain P11. So great work from him as we see Sven Zerner now making his way around the next right-hand bend. Jarno Opmeer very much behind him there and teeing up Sven Zerner in his sights now as they make their way down towards turn 10. Fabrizio Donoso still maintaining that half a second gap between him and Speed Barry to keep hold of that P1. Can we see Mercedes snatch up the points here today? They're currently in Ps 1 and 4, and certainly wouldn't be surprising to see them after their initial qualifying where they managed to get Ps 1 and 2. It wouldn't be a hell of a surprise to see them do the same thing on the podium here in the race, as we see Speed Barry only half a second behind Fabrizio Donoso, trying to gain ground on this Mercedes, and this is what we could be seeing next season with the likes of Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton at the start of the Australian Grand Prix. Is that something you were expecting to see at all, Maku? Are we going to be seeing Red Bull and Mercedes doing battle all season?
Of course we're going to do, because Speedberry won the first thing and now he's in second, so basically there's no chance that you can say he is a slow driver. And Fabrizio and Donoso and Jarno Opmeer are two well-known drivers, and they are also that damn fast. So yeah, we will always have this battle. I'm just looking. Oh, Hayes is Speedberry's team comrade. So yeah, for one side of the Red Bull box, it didn't went that well this time. But let's see what they can pull out together.
Well, sorry to interrupt you there, Maku. There, we're just seeing an intense battle here between. Well, we got like almost like a three-way battle here because SHZ1's in P6 is currently trying to hold off VSR Infamous in the Renault, who's really closing upon this Haas driver. Remember, One's managed to overtake him earlier on, and Infamous trying to tag him back here as they make their way down the back stretch, heading in towards what will be Sector 3 very, very soon. And we're seeing as they make their way around now, Arsen Kardanov, in P8, currently chasing these two as they make their way around. The gap beginning to form, though, between that of the Renault and the Alfa Romeo as they make their way down the straight before the final bend. And we could yet be seeing more from these two battling it out later on. But as we look further up, we can see that Jarno Opmeer and Sven Zerner still maintaining that gap of just over 6/10 of a second there. Speed Barry, though, in a 2/10 gap between him and Fabrizio Donoso. We could see yet another battle between these two as they make their way around the initial few corners, as we see another yellow flag in Sector 2, and it looks like Oz Julian has come off the track there, Maku.
Yeah, I think as the chat also mentioned, Julian was trying to get the fastest lap, so maybe he just did a little bit too much and went a little bit too fast, so he spun off. But yeah, let's see. Maybe he has also another try, so yeah.
Well, it'll be it's a sad day for him, unfortunately. Obviously not contesting for points here today unless he can get the fastest lap. He's not the only one on soft tyres, because Steve is also on fast tyres as well. But as we look further down now, well, we go back up to the top of the classifications again. Jarno Opmeer now closing that gap to Sven Zerner within 0.4 of a second. We could still yet see a move for a podium place here in this race. We're in lap 21 and 29, ladies and gentlemen, coming up towards the final few laps in this race. Things are about to get heated up as we see Jarno very, very nearly getting closer to the curve there, naturally trying to find every grain of time he can find to close up on that McLaren, as Sven Zerner tries to hold him off as they make their way towards the final bend here. They'll very soon be entering lap 22 and 29 and losing a little bit of shape there. Jarno Opmeer going around that bend, but he manages to hold it together as he makes his way down the straight. Oz Julian has retired from the session and indeed retired in the pit lane as well. True sportsman-like behaviour there, so well done him as they make their way around. Speed Barry, that gap getting closer and closer to Fabrizio Donoso Delgado there, the Mercedes driver, trying to pull out all the stops to keep this Red Bull at bay as they make their way down towards the next right-hander. And these four really pulling away now. We thought this would happen earlier on in the race, and it looks like we're going to be seeing a four-man dogfight towards the end of this game, Maku.
Yeah, it will be. And there was some interesting strategy thing in the chat that maybe Sven should let Jarno pass. I mean, earlier in the race, Sven had like a 1 second gap to Speed Barry. Now it's a little bit closer. But then maybe if Jarno can pass Speed Barry, Sven is also close enough to have a advantage out of that. So these are always some tactics you could maybe think about.
Definitely. Well, as we get deeper into this race, we're going to be seeing lots of twists and turns without a shadow of a doubt. We're with these top four drivers who have managed to pull out a gap of at least 5 seconds away from P5, which is CRD Napadovsky, who's driven a brilliant race for Williams and has seen himself get into the main crux of the points here. Incidentally, Photon has managed to get himself into P10 as well, overtaking Bernardo, and that means Ferrari will also get a point this season as well, and that'll put them up to at least 5 points in the championship, as they've only got 4 points at the moment after round 1 at Spain. And as you can see, these four drivers getting really close to one another now. They are within 2.5 seconds of each other, maybe less than that actually. They're in almost like the 1.8 second gap between all four of these cars. We're going to be seeing some serious flares being raised here in this Bahrain Grand Prix. This has been absolutely intensifying, this battle between the likes of Fabrizio Donoso and Speed Barry, but also Sven Zerner and Jarno Opmeer. Jarno, only 2 tenths separating him and Sven. The McLaren getting ever closer to that to that Mercedes visor, sorry. And very soon we could be seeing some real upsets here as he touches the McLaren, I think, a little bit there. Jarno getting a bit close as he makes his way down the straight as Steve nails the fastest lap on those softs. We expected that, given the faster compound, as they make their way through the snake section here, leading up to sector 3. And we're seeing Fabrizio Donoso go 4 tenths clear in these bends. A gap then to Sven Zerner by 6 tenths at least, with Jarno Opmeer only just under 3 tenths of a second from Sven Zerner. We're seeing some really intensifying racing here, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're all enjoying this as they make their way around the final bend, and the Red Bull of Speed Barry getting in amongst that of Fabrizio Donoso, and he's in with touching distance of that Silver Arrows, and he makes a move on the outside. Speed Barry, the race, the contender here for the championship already after week 1, and he's made the overtake. Surely is he going to do it into turn 1? Fabrizio Donoso trying to hang on, but it looks like the Red Bull's done it. He's moved to P1. Speed Barry P1. Fabrizio Donoso P2. Sorry, Maku.
Wait. Because Fabrizio Donoso has a chance. Maybe no, not around the outside. Maybe if Donoso could have gotten a much better start out of corner number 2 or something, he would have been able to overtake Speed Barry back.
Well, I gotta say, it looked like he was able to tag him back. I'm with you on that 100%, Maku. It looked like Fabrizio was gonna manage to hold on, but now, not only has he got to worry about Speed Barry, but Sven Zerner is only 3 tenths behind him, and we could yet be seeing more battles, because Jarno has been sitting very, very quietly in behind these three, waiting to pounce like a lion waiting to strike as they make their way through the latter stages of Sector 2, soon to be in Sector 3. This has been extremely good Good TV this has, folks, certainly. I hope you're all enjoying it there at home. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to ORL, like I said previously, for more of this racing action as they make their way down now. Sven Zerner getting closer to the gearbox of Fabrizio Donoso. He perhaps gets a better exit as well. Sven Zerner opens up the DRS anytime now, and he moves in on the inside. The McLaren making a move there on the Mercedes as they make their way down towards turn 1 yet again. Is Fabrizio Donoso going to get done yet again here? The McLaren has got the better line, makes his way through, and he does it. Little bit of touching on here as well, looking down the inside, but not this time, not just yet. Opens up the DRS. They're going wheel to wheel down towards the next corner. What's he going to be here? No friends here in F1 as they make their way around now. But Fabrizio Donoso hangs on to P3. He's not losing 2 in one sector. Not at all, Maku.
That's a beautiful battle.
Absolutely incredible scenes here. Absolutely incredible. I've got to say, these final laps have been nothing but explosive, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're all enjoying it at home. Fabrizio Donoso, unfortunately, losing his P1 to Speed Barry, and Sven Zerner out of nowhere, moving his McLaren into P2. He's got to be loving that, I'm sure, as he moves under 6/10 away from Speed Barry. We're seeing some epic racing here, folks, and Jarno Opmeer, nonetheless, is looking at Fabrizio Donoso, thinking, come on, mate, let a buddy through, as they make their way through towards Sector 3, and we're seeing these Mercedes drivers go hammer and tongs around the circuits of Bahrain, the sandy circuit, bowing out here to give us great racing as they make their way through lap 25, heading into lap 26. Very soon, we're going to be met with just under 4 laps of racing here, Maku, and I got to say, it's been some of the most amazing racing I've seen here on F1 2019.
Yeah, I have to say that too. That race is that insane. So let's see if Sven can maybe get.
Oh my God! Scenes there.
Wing.
We've lost an end plate there. Fabrizio Donoso has sustained damage to his front wing after a little collision with Sven Zerner, and I think there was a little bit of a mishap there going over the curb. And Jarno Opmeer very nearly lost his as well. I think he has, in fact. He's lost an end plate on that right side of his front wing, and that's going to upset his race. I think both Mercedes have lost end plates, Maku.
Yeah. So how are they going to do it? Because they both need to, or will be the effects that bad?
Well, looking at it, Fabrizio Donoso very nearly losing the car there around the outside. You've got to be very cautious, certainly through this sector, round turn 10, without a fully fledged front wing. That is dangerous enough without the front wing, and you can just see him there losing a bit of shape, heading down into turn 10. And that can really cost you a lot of time and a lot of shape. At the moment, it looks like the Mercedes are going to be doing battle for P3. It looks like it's Sven Zerner and Speed Barry's battle in towards the end of this race. Speed Barry looking the favourites to take P1 here, going into the final stages of this Grand Prix, Maku. I got to say, none of us expected this. We thought we were going to be in for a four-way battle towards the end of this race.
That was pretty unfortunate for the 2 Mercedes because both of them got damages on one on the right side and one on the left side of their front wing. So in a stop, it would cost them nearly the whole race. They would end up like somewhere in 15th or something.
Well, absolutely. I mean, we've seen some things in this race, but we hope we won't see anything like that as we make our way down through lap 27 to 29. We've still got a few laps remaining here, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're all enjoying yourselves here in the chat. It's been nothing short but breathtaking as Calcifer makes a move on Photon, move up into P11. Photon now at the point, so no points for Ferrari today if the standings remain like this with Steve currently in P18. And we're seeing some battles there between Calcifer and Photon there as they go wheel to wheel, heading down towards the next corner. The right-hander, the 90-degreer, the Ferrari making a move on the outside. It's the Master versus the Apprentice, the Alfa Romeo versus the Ferrari as they make their way through the snake section. And indeed, these two go in battle as if they're playing for points here as they make their way around. And it looks like Photon with a beautiful switch makes his way around the bend, gets himself the favourable line, but it's not going to be the favourable line by the time they get to turn 10. And as they make their way around now, the Alfa Romeo surely looks favoured to hold on, but Photon battling back like nobody's business, maintaining his place alongside the Alfa Romeo. Can he make a move as they make their way down towards the snake section? But not today, and he loses the back end ever so slightly on those 11 lap old mediums. Calcifer also on 10 lap old mediums. What a battle there though, Maku.
That was really fun. Side to side, like for 5-6 corners. Wow.
It was great watching indeed, and as you can see, Jarno Opmeer has now dropped back a second from Fabrizio Donoso, who, believe it or not, has actually managed to maintain a 4/10 gap behind Sven Zerner, so he's still there. As we see Ones move up ahead of Infamous, and we've got a bit of a battle here between a Haas and a Renault as they make their way down now, and Ones actually manages to get the DRS for the Haas despite moving into P6 already, so he gains on the advantage. Kardanov now in P8 in the Alfa Romeo, chasing Infamous there to try and get that P7. So we've got a three-way tussle there for P6 as things stand. Currently, CRG Napadovsky currently 5 seconds clear at least of Wens in the Haas, so he's doing okay. Loses a lot of oversteer though, and unfortunately that nearly crashes in round turn 10. But as we look further up, Fabrizio Donoso has managed to overtake Sven Zerner. We missed that, folks, and Sven Zerner has dropped down to P4, Maku. Jarno Opmeer up into P3, so I'm not sure what happened there. But Sven has slowed down majorly. I can't see any wing damage, but Sven, in the crucial closing couple of laps, has dropped to P4.
I don't know. Has he a tire damage? It has he a flat out?
Oh, he's got a flat tyre. Unbelievable scenes there. His rear left tyre has unfortunately blown, and he's got to pit now, meaning that the Haas of Ones can effectively move ahead now. CRG Napadovsky moves into P4. Great day for Williams.
In the last lap of the race.
He could finish outside the points here at this rate because Bernardo isn't far away himself, and indeed he batters down the straight, and Sven Zerner now in the pits. He had a time penalty as well to serve, so Sven Zerner could finish outside the points here, Maku.
Yes, and he does, because he's already in 12th now. Oh no. Very unfortunate events.
Very, very disappointed for Sven Zerner. He was battling Speed Barry for the lead in this race, and due to what must have been a bit of debris on the track, he's now in P16, sustaining a puncture earlier on in the race. But Speed Barry now in P1 has now only got to worry about Fabrizio Donoso, who is only 6/10 behind him, doing extremely well despite the damaged front wing. Obviously, Jarno Opmeer's wing must be in a more serious state than what Fabrizio Donoso's is, but by looks of it, Maku, it's going to be a Mercedes P2 and 3 here this evening, and surely they must be delighted as they make their way down towards the final straight before the final corner. It's been absolutely amazing. It's been unreal. The sands of Bahrain have given us nothing but drama here this evening. I hope you've all enjoyed it at home, and I'm sure as they make their way up towards the straight, it's gonna be podiums here for Red Bull, because Speed Barry has taken P1 here at Bahrain. Fabrizio Donoso in P2 for Mercedes. P3 for Jarno Opmeer makes a double. 2 and 3 for Mercedes here today. Great points for them. And CRG for Williams getting their first points of the season with a P4 from Napadovsky. Great racing from him. VSR in famous, capping a P5 for Renault. Camille Common with a P6 there for Toro Rosso. SHZ1s in P7 for Haas. Arsene Kardanov in P8 for the Alfa Romeo. Bernardo in P9 for the Williams team. Calcifer P10 for Alfa Romeo as well. Photon P11 outside the points once again, outside the points for Ferrari, and unable to capitalise at all on some of the chaos from earlier on. Boomson in P12 for Toro Rosso. Sven Zerner, after that heartbreaking blowout earlier on in the race, has unfortunately led himself to P13. But absolutely phenomenal scenes here, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you really enjoyed it here today. Sorry for the coughing that happened in between. I'm just recovering from the flu. I promise you I don't have the coronavirus. But as we can see, Speed Barry takes P1 here in Bahrain. Maku, what a race.
What a race. And you asked me previously if Red Bull or Mercedes is on the podium, and now it's both.
It certainly is. I mean, Speed Barry, his start to this season has been nothing short of incredible. After that win at Spain, and he's already managed to claim yet another P1 here in Bahrain. It's been nothing short of exquisite. But as we can see there, the Mercedes drivers celebrating there with Ps 2 and 3. Credit to them as we run through the final classifications. Maku, do you want to take us through it?
Yeah, so basically we have Speed Barry, our winner of the day and our last time winner, in first place. Then we have Fabrizio Donoso and Jarno Opmeer, the two Mercedes drivers, in second and third. Napadovsky in fourth. Infamous in fifth place. Camel Come On in the Toro Rosso in the sixth place. Then we have Zones in his Haas in 7th place, Arsene Kardanov in 8th, Bernardo in 9th, and Calcifer in his Alfa Romeo in 10th, the last one who gets a point. Foden, last season winner, in his Ferrari now, is in 11th. Then we have Umsong, poor Sven Zerner, only in 13th. Leonard in 14th. Jake in his Renault in 15th. Cruising in 16th. Then Brownie, Stiff, and the two who did not finish, Julian and Hay.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's been an absolutely phenomenal experience bringing this race to you. I have been George Morgan. He has been Maku. It's been an absolute pleasure to commentate here at ORL for the first time here tonight, and I'm looking forward to doing it again next week. Apologies for the coughing earlier on. I've just come back from the flu, but I'm sure we'll bring back more racing. Remember, if you chat into the live chat now, put your recommendations for driver of the day here today. We can see some of the comments already. Fabrizio Donoso, who said he had damage for the last 4 laps. And everyone's saying, including Jana Watmir, he had damage as well. Camille Common, 77% one stint tyre usage and 90% on stint 2. Phenomenal racing. TRL Limitless, I see you in the chat, buddy. Guys, what a phenomenal day of racing. Phenomenal afternoon. Remember, drop a subscribe to ORL in the box below and support the channel. Also, don't forget to like this video, and always, more importantly, come back next week for more racing here at ORL with me, George Morgan, and my colleague Maku. It's been nothing but a pleasure. We'll see you again. Goodbye.